Hi, Gretchen with Urban Reiki here for your Sei He Ki lesson. Sei He Ki is also known as the mental or emotional symbol. It is to keep us balanced. The main function of Sei He Ki can be described in the different breaks or breakdowns of things that are not in harmony. Sei He Ki breaks through blockages, patterns on the auric level. It can also help to heal your ancestral line, your past lives, any type of emotional damage that has been done to you in this lifetime or in previous lifetimes, or just in general to your family line. You know how people say, oh, that's the family curse. This is how you can break the family curse. Like you can retrain your genetics through curcumin and other dietary things. You can retrain your auric body and break those family curses with Reiki and different types of energy healing. So, on to more Sei He Ki information. Sei He Ki is also popularly known as the mental and emotional symbol. It balances both the left and the right hemispheres of the brain. In the middle of these two hemispheres is a thing called corpus callosum. The corpus callosum in 1 in 3,000 people is affected. There is a disconnect between the left and the right side of the brain. The left side of the brain is the more analytical thought, that where your detail-oriented perceptions come in, math, science, logic, that type of stuff, your motor skills, planning, cautiousness. And the right side of your brain is creative, intuition, holistic. A lot of it is emotional and thought, not verbal. Creative writing, art, sculpture, macrame, knitting, any type of creative outlet. And there's also some of your left side motor skills. Now, like I said, 1 in 3,000 people has a disconnect between the two with the corpus callosum right in the middle. You can, you'll discover these by people who have delays in development, like basic developmental milestones, walking, talking, reading. They may appear slightly more clumsy, have problems tying their shoes, atypical sensitivities to like food textures, different sensory cures, like it's super sensitive to touch. Now, yes, I do know that fibromyalgia is on the rise, and a lot of fibromyalgia, one of the huge symptoms is sensitivity to touch. That's a whole other animal, but Reiki can help manage the symptoms as well. High tolerance to pain is another one. I myself have an extremely high tolerance to pain. I'm one of those people that has that disconnect, so I use Sei He Ki to keep it in, because a lot of times I find that my creative side has taken over and my logical side is like, no, we don't need to do this. A lot of people who suffer from bipolar, everybody who suffers from bipolar suffers from this disconnect, because you have that kind of manic, like go, 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 happy, 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 energetic, and then you just bottom out. That's definitely a disconnect there. So Sei He Ki can help. Now, with that being said, I do want to let you guys know there are certain conditions that is not recommended that you do Reiki with these people. Schizophrenia is one of them. I wouldn't, if they have schizophrenia in their family, I wouldn't risk it. And we will go through this in a later video called people who not to perform Reiki on. Sadly, it's not for everybody. The main one is going to be schizophrenics. Other than that, I would just say go for it. Well, follow your flow, your intuition. Again, trust yourself. It helps, Sei He Ki, like we said, it's the balancing kanji. It helps with depression. Depression can be deadly. We know this. I myself personally know 3 people who have killed themselves due to depression. My oldest son attempted to kill himself due to depression and alcoholism. He didn't threaten to kill himself. He just tried it. Fortunately for me, the rope broke and he was found unconscious. He's since gotten the help and he's sober. So we can take it one day at a time. This was about 6 years ago, so it's been a minute. But like I said, I do know 3 other people who were sadly successful in killing themselves. So maybe seeking help from a light worker might have helped them a little bit more and kind of balance those in. I'm not saying Reiki is a cure-all. It's definitely something to add to your healing modality. If you're an herbalist, a yogi, a massage therapist, acupuncturist, acupressurist, reflexologist, any of these people plus more. I apologize. I know I'm forgetting a whole bunch of nice light workers, chiropractors, oracle readers, people who just, it can add to those modalities. Reiki is part of holistic healing. Holistic healing is healing the entire body, healing the root of the disease, healing the spirit, healing the mind, healing the body, all at the same time. What we get when we go to doctors currently is allopathic healing. Allopathic healing means they cure one symptom, allopathic symptom. They cure a symptom. I have a headache. Okay, here's an aspirin. Allopathic cure. Go to see my Reiki person. I have a headache. How long have you had this headache? What have you been eating? Has there been any stress going on in your life? Anything that's changed in your life? Has your pattern changed? Did you go anywhere new? Did you come in contact with anywhere new? So the energetic, holistic healing will get to the root of the disease and treat that, which will in turn treat all the symptoms like the headache. Okay, so enough about that. We know it's a great one. Sei He Ki basically means state of the embryo. Sei is state of the embryo, things that are invisible of external form. So this is the part that we attribute to God. God's the creator. Whatever entity or entities that you give your worship and your praise to. He Ki, both the middle words mean root chakra, to be balanced. So that's the man part, the root part, the part that's stuck to the earth. So God and man, gods and man, entities in man, higher beings in man, universal energy in man, become one and become balanced. All right. The chakras that it works really, really effectively on are going to be the Anahata chakra. It's the center of emotions. The Svadhisthana, and I know I'm butchering these, where all emotions are deeply rooted, and the Muladhara, your survival chakra, your root chakra. You can remove all negative energy from rooms. The way that you use this, remember how we said in Choku-rei, you can use some symbols to remove negativity from rooms. Sei He Ki is definitely one of them. What you're going to do to remove negative energy from a room, and when you become a master or become more attuned, more in tuned with this, like after you've done your Hatsu Reiho religiously for, I don't know, say 30, 40 days, and you've been practicing pushing that Reiki energy out, and practice not only on your friends, your pets, yourself, practice on inanimate objects. Push that Reiki energy out, and after you've gotten used to pushing it out, you can draw these symbols with your third eye. You won't have to actually physically draw them, which comes in handy when you're in public and people are looking at you like you're a lunatic because you're over there like, I'm doing Choku-rei, because you could feel like when you went to work, people are like totally off. And it's like, I'm going to do some Choku-rei and Sei He Ki in here. And they're like, huh? I mean, not everybody I work with does, but a lot of them are just like, huh? Anyway, you know the look. So you can definitely draw them with your third eye point, with your heart, with your solar plexus chakra. Those are your strongest ones. So what you'll do is you'll imagine after you do your regular Hatsu Reiho and everything for the day, and you've gotten going. I don't know if you've done your yoga for the day. Why can I not think of that? Total brain fart. Your sun salutation. There we go. Your sun salutation, your Hatsu Rei, whatever, Hatsu Reiho, whatever it takes you to get your center of being centered. Then you can do a little Reiki on yourself. What you'll do is with the Sei He Ki, and you'll imagine this bright purple light just kind of like being a bubble around you and protecting you. So you'll walk around your whole day with this beautiful positive protection bubble. Now, to get rid of things in a room, you can also draw Sei He Ki. Draw Sei He Ki by intoning it 3 times. Sei He Ki, Sei He Ki, Sei He Ki. Make sure you hold the intention in your mind that this is to protect you. And imagine as you're intoning Sei He Ki, this beautiful protective purple bubble of Reiki light around you. And that will protect you all day. Now, when you're in your house and you want to protect your room, you will go about it much the same way. However, you'll mentally draw, or with your hands, draw the Sei He Ki symbol on the ceiling and on the floor. Then you'll imagine this big, beautiful white light spreading through the entire room. All through the entire room. Fill the entire room with light. Hold this for about 10 minutes or so. Kind of keep pushing that Reiki through your third eye and through your heart chakra and through your solar plexus chakra. Keep it going, 10, 15 minutes, however long you're called to do, honestly. I mean, if there's a lot of negativity in the room, if your salt bowls or none of that is working, do this for as long as you need to. After you've finished filling it, you're going to close with another chokure, chokure, chokure. If you feel the need to, draw it some more. You can draw it on the walls if you need that extra little boost. Finally, at the end, when you're closing the cleansing of the room, and please, by all means, feel free to draw the chokure with smudge smoke, with sage smoke. Sweet grass smoke works very, very nicely for people who have super negative energies in rooms. Anyway, where was I? Oh, the last thing you do is you fill the room after you've done your closing chokure, you fill the room with pink energy. Yep. A whole room full of pink energy. So not only are you connected to the gods and that happiness, but then you have that beautiful pink heart energy. You can imagine a green energy if that's how you picture your heart chakra. I know the common color for it is usually green. I like pink though. I mean, because when we get into the crystals, you'll find that the pink and the green crystals are both heart chakra crystals. I prefer pink. If you prefer green, fill your room with green. And then just, kind of put it in your mind. This room is protected from all negativity. No negativity can come in here, and if negativity does come in here, it will be dissolved. Dissolved immediately by all that beautiful Reiki love energy. Now, I wanted to show you guys this. This is really cool, and it's kind of a common thing. It's called a Reiki sandwich. Now, remember how we talked about how Chokure enhances energy and powers? Okay, and we know that Sei He Ki is the mental and emotional symbol, and it brings everything into harmony. It brings our left and right hemispheres of brain into harmony. It brings us into harmony both with the earth and with the gods. And then Chokure again. Why? Because we want to enhance that balance. We really do. So anytime that you're using Sei He Ki, I highly recommend that you begin with Chokure and end with Chokure so you get that extra oomph in there, that extra balance. Some of the other functions you can use Sei He Ki for, the main functions, maintain harmony and mental and emotional health, remove blockages and resistances. So if you are in your own way, which we have all been in our own way at some point in our lives, if you are in your own way, use this. It'll move you out of your own way. And if you use it with Chokure, remember, Reiki is like water. It's like this constantly moving thing. And I feel water is the most powerful substance. Not only it will go where it wants to go. It will erode obstacles in its way, carrying them along its path. It will change course when it needs to. It goes with the course, with the flow that's least resistant. We should all definitely try to be more like water. Okay. It helps with addiction and recovery because that balancing again. I've had addictions in my past. I've had problems in my past. I've been anorexic. I've done a lot of coke in my 20s. I wasn't a good girl by any stretch of the imagination. Why was I off balance? Because I was seeking other people's approval and I was self-medicating. That's where addiction and eating, a lot of eating disorders come in. We're seeking other people's approval. We're off balance. Somewhere between our left and our right brain is that disconnect. That logic part is like, I'm going to sleep for a little bit, let you get down to 90 pounds and go to the hospital and, be told basically that you're going to die if you don't stop doing this. So Sei He Ki will help people who are in recovery. It will only help people that want the help. You cannot perform Reiki on addicts that you know who have not consented to receive the Reiki. I know it's tempting. Trust me, I feel that. With every fiber of my being do I feel that. But unless they ask you or unless you ask them and they say yes, you can't do it. It's going to be more detrimental. Okay. The next thing is it helps with relationship problems. So some of the chakras that this would work well with would be the heart chakra, the solar plexus chakra, And a lot of times the third eye chakra. There's third eye chakra because that's where your third eye is. You read other people's emotions, and sometimes if it's off balance, you'll read them incorrectly. You'll feel attacked when you shouldn't. Like, for instance, and I know not everybody's gone through this, but if you've ever been pregnant, there's this point where your emotions and your hormones is so far off. If somebody says good morning to you, you're like, what the frick do you mean by that? Good morning. What do you mean? What do you mean? And then you just like freak out. So that's kind of what I mean by that. Anyway, the next thing it helps with are fear, phobias, and nervousness. If you have anxiety over like crossing bridges while you drive, if you have anxiety right now, there's a lot of anxiety going on. I still get slight touches of anxiety when I have to go into Target to get water filters or whatever, and the person in front of me thinks that this current pandemic is a joke. But then, I do a little self-Reiki in line and rebalance myself, use my logic, back up from this person a little bit further because clearly they are uneducated and feel like remaining uneducated. Grief due to loss. Memory, it helps with your memory. Enhancing affirmations. This is something that a lot of people will probably be interested in while you're doing affirmations after your Reiki. Mentally, third eye, push that little Sei He Ki symbol out there while you're doing it. It'll get easier with more practice. Calming negative emotions and calming arguments. It'll also protect you from loss of items and as you travel. There's also a very nice Nordic rune that I use it's their compass that I use for travel, but Sei He Ki symbol with it. You might, what's it going to hurt to have you like double, triple protected? I also carry a turquoise and malachite with me for travel. And again, we'll get to that in the crystals, in the crystal lessons. Anyway, so this concludes our Usui 1 certification classes. And yes, I know I teach a lot differently than most Reiki masters. There will be some little additional videos that you're more than welcome to go through, the korotomos and all of that. Usui 2 lessons will include the rest of the kanjis that are Usui Reiki. And then the master, I'm going to go ahead with the Usui 2. I'll put the master kanji out there as well, the Daikomiyo. You will not be attuned until you've practiced for 6 months after your Usui 2 certification. I don't require a time between Usui 1 cert and Usui 2 cert, so go ahead and knock these all out. I do require a 6-month practice period, self-practice, distance practice, personal practice, pet practice. Don't care. It's your practice for 6 months before I tune you as a master. After you've been attuned as a master, then we can carry forward with Karuna Ki Reiki. So until next time, which will be the first Usui 2 kanji. I apologize. The Hansha Seisho Nen, the distance kanji. Namaste.